Trembling and disoriented, Rebecca photographed everything before fleeing to a hotel, where she called Tanya for support. But when she described her discovery, Tanya's reaction was unexpected. "Don't tell anyone else. I'm coming now with someone you need to meet." An hour later, Tanya arrived with a woman who introduced herself as Special Agent Voss with the FBI. The revelation left Rebecca speechless. Tanya had been working with the FBI for months, monitoring Daniel after facial recognition flagged him as resembling Andrew Pearson, a person of interest in a sophisticated identity theft and financial fraud operations spanning 3 states. "The man you know as Daniel Collins doesn't exist," Agent Voss explained, showing Rebecca a file of his actual suspected identity. "We believe he targets specific women to establish legitimate-looking marriages while operating fraud schemes." When Rebecca mentioned the photos of the unknown woman and children, Agent Voss's expression darkened. That would be his real family in Oregon. They believe he's an international business consultant. As dawn broke, Rebecca watched from the hotel window as a tactical team entered her home, emerging hours later with Daniel in handcuffs and evidence bags filled with the contents of his secret room. The man she had loved and built a life with for 6 years was not just a cheater. He was a completely fabricated identity, a meticulous fiction created by a con artist who had selected her, studied her, and married her as part of an elaborate criminal enterprise. As agents interviewed her about every detail of their life together, Rebecca realized with horror that she hadn't just been betrayed, she had been a pawn in a game whose true stakes she was only beginning to understand. Rebecca couldn't understand why her husband Daniel's phone kept buzzing at 3 a.m. It had been happening for weeks now. Initially, she respected his privacy, but tonight was different. She watched as his face illuminated by the screen's glow, a smile forming as he quickly typed responses. When confronted, Daniel dismissed it as work emergencies, but Rebecca noticed he had switched to using a messaging app she'd never seen before. The next day, while Daniel showered, Rebecca made a split-second decision to check his phone, only to find it newly password protected. That evening, she staged a casual dinner conversation about their colleague James, who had recently been caught cheating. "I could never understand how people lead double lives," she said, carefully studying Daniel's reaction. His hand trembled slightly as he reached for his wine. "Sometimes people just make mistakes," he replied, not meeting her eyes. Unable to shake her suspicions, Rebecca took matters into her own hands. She borrowed her best friend Tanya's car and followed Daniel when he claimed to be working late. Instead of heading to his office downtown, he drove to an upscale apartment complex on the other side of the city. Rebecca watched in stunned silence as Daniel used a key card to enter the building, greeted the doorman like an old friend, and disappeared inside. For the next week, she documented everything, photographing him entering the same building 3 more times, each visit lasting exactly 2 hours. When she tried accessing the visitor log by pretending to be interested in renting an apartment, the leasing agent mentioned that Mr. Manning in 12B had just renewed his lease for another year. Rebecca had never heard Daniel mention anyone named Manning, but when she saw a photo of the tenant in the building's digital directory, her blood ran cold. It was Daniel, smiling back at her under a completely different name. On their anniversary night, with champagne poured and dinner prepared, Rebecca calmly placed a manila folder on the table instead of Daniel's gift. "Who is Eric Manning?" she asked. Daniel's face drained of color as Rebecca revealed printouts of his secret apartment visits, text message logs she'd recovered through their shared cloud account, and bank statements showing regular transfers to an unknown account. What began as Daniel's desperate denials quickly escalated into a shouting match that shattered wine glasses and sent dinner crashing to the floor. Their neighbors, alarmed by the commotion, called the police. When officers arrived, they found Rebecca hysterical, Daniel with a beating hand from smashing a mirror, and enough concern about potential violence to order them both to vacate the premises for 24 hours while tempers cooled. Neither realized this forced separation would be the catalyst that exposed secrets far darker than infidelity. The following afternoon, still reeling from the confrontation, Rebecca returned home to collect essentials before staying with her sister. While searching for her passport in Daniel's office, She accidentally knocked over a bookshelf, revealing something peculiar. The wall behind it sounded hollow when she tapped it. Curious, she pressed different spots until a hidden panel clicked open, revealing a small room she never knew existed. Inside, a desk held 3 laptops, a professional-grade printer, and dozens of ID cards with Daniel's photo but different names. A corkboard displayed surveillance photos of her, Rebecca, with dates and locations marked, some from years before they'd supposedly met. Most disturbing of all was a detailed timeline of their relationship, with annotations like target acquired and asset secured next to significant dates, including their wedding day. When she tried one of the laptops, the screensaver showed a woman and 2 children Rebecca had never seen before, standing in front of a house in another state.